Hey everybody, happy Saturday and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking to specifically my community college subscribers about what you absolutely need to do this summer in order to prepare for the upcoming school year, applying to university, and just life in general. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. So for those of you who are planning on applying to UC in the upcoming fall 2019, it is absolutely imperative that you start writing your personal insight questions now. If you don't know what a personal insight question is, you're already 10 steps behind the game. The personal insight question is a series of, I believe, 4 questions, essay questions that you have to answer on the UC application. And it is really important that you guys do this now because this is not the type of thing that you can write the night before. And I have had people come to me literally the days and hours before the application is due and say like, I don't know what to do, or can you read my essay? And the thing is, you're in very big trouble if you're doing that. So I highly recommend that you guys at least sketch out some ideas that you could consider and flush them out a little bit, even if it's a terrible draft and you're like, this is horrendous, I would never turn it in. It's good to get those creative juices flowing and to start thinking about what you want to write, because the earlier you do it, the better. Just trust me on this one. I did all my essays the summer before, and basically once the application opened, I just like input all my personal information, like my name, date of birth, address, and all that stuff, and literally just copy and pasted my essays into the website and hit submit, and it was done, and it was pretty stress-free. So definitely please listen to me, take my advice, do it this summer. You won't regret it. The other thing I just want to put out there is that if you do it this summer and you would like to get feedback on your essays from me, I will be reviewing essays this summer only. I will not be doing this in the fall because I go to school in the fall. This summer I will be working, but aside from that I won't have homework, so I will be doing that this summer. It won't be free, just a heads up. I haven't really decided all the specifics yet, and there will be another video coming out about that. But if you want feedback from me on your essays, do it this summer, write it and get it all taken care of, and then we can arrange something. I'll put out the details later on. Aside from the application and from the personal insight questions, what you can do in school that could be potentially very impactful for some of you. Maybe you're kind of like on the border in terms of like your GPA or in your grades, and you kind of want to improve things a little bit before you apply to schools. It's always a good idea, even if you have a really strong GPA, is to take some extra courses during the summer, maybe 1. I probably wouldn't recommend 2, I mean, unless you have the time, because during the summer these courses are very fast-paced. But if you just want to take 1 class to boost your GPA a little extra bit, that can be really helpful. And it also shows the initiative that you're a pretty committed student, that you're willing to sacrifice summer, which is a time you could be going to the beach and doing fun stuff. During the summer, I would also recommend finishing off any other prerequisites that you may need in order to be eligible for your major at the school that you're considering applying to. Obviously do as many of these as you can, but the more that you have completed and that you have an actual grade for when you turn in your application, that says a lot about you, because it shows once again that you've taken the initiative and that you've completed these classes and you're serious about being a student and about being a student in that major. For those of you who may be applying outside of the UC system, so I believe like USC and probably a lot of other private schools, to be completely honest, require letters of recommendation. So I would recommend reaching out to your teachers now, compiling a list of your teachers that you would think would probably give you a good recommendation, and reaching out to them now, letting them know, heads up, hey, I'm gonna have this application due in October or November, whenever. I would really appreciate if you would write me a letter. Obviously, say something way more formal and more professional than what I just said, but basically that's the gist of it, right? You want to give them time, because letters of recommendation take time, especially if they are a teacher at your community college. As it is, they already have a lot of things to do. They have a lot of assignments to grade, they have to go to class, they have to prepare their lessons. So to add a letter of recommendation on top of that is work. So you need to reach out to them, be courteous, maybe remind them of who you are if you haven't had them in a while, and just say, would you mind writing this letter for me? I really enjoyed your class, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so another big one that I recommend, and I just want to say that I totally understand that this is not feasible for every single person who's watching my video. Some of you may not be able to do this, and I understand, and UC understands, but I'm just saying, if you're able to do this, if you're able to find a job at least over the summer and work as much as you can, can. This is great for two reasons. One, because obviously it looks very good on your application and on resumes as well if you have some job experience. And let me tell you, no job is too small. Even if you are serving $5 footlongs at Subway, it's a job. You still have to show up. You still have to do certain responsibilities, and it shows who you are as a person. So it's good in that respect on your applications, and also builds character. But on the other hand, you're earning money. So this is like the one thing that I regret the most about my time before I transferred to UCLA was not earning enough money. And I actually did earn quite a bit of money for someone my age who didn't have a degree at that point, but I didn't save it. So I didn't save as much as I should have. So if you can earn and if you can save, trust me, this will help you in the long run. You might have to skip out on going to the movies with your friends or going to eat dinner, but it's going to be worth it when you're not struggling to find something to eat a year and a half later on campus. On a related note with work is something that I would really encourage you guys to start doing now is to create a LinkedIn profile. Even if you have limited job experience, you know, you may think like, oh, I only work at McDonald's or I only work at Abercrombie. Like, who cares? It's a job. Like I said, it's still a responsibility. It's something that you had to show up for. And maybe your role is actually a lot more important and says a lot more about you than you think it does. If you're like the closing manager at Abercrombie or at McDonald's, I don't know exactly how that works, but that's a big responsibility. Someone entrusted you to close up the store, to make sure everything was secure, to count the money in the cash register, and that's a lot of work. So if you have that on your resume, and if you have that on your LinkedIn profile and you can include that, it says something about you. I plan on doing more videos about resumes and cover letters coming up because I think it's really important, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't know how to do, especially at this age with limited education and limited work experience. So I have what I think is a pretty strong resume and cover letter that I'd like to share with you all. And like I said, LinkedIn is a huge thing. I'm telling you guys, 99.999% of college students aren't on LinkedIn, and it's a huge problem. So if you can get on LinkedIn and if you can create a strong profile, that is going to say so much about you. I mean, the majority of the people that I know aren't on LinkedIn or weren't on LinkedIn when I started on LinkedIn. And even I just started on LinkedIn probably within the past year and a half, I would say. A year and a half ago, ironically, when I got hired at LinkedIn, I didn't have a very strong LinkedIn profile. It was actually pretty bad. But now I've learned the ropes and I've learned what needs to be on there. And it says a lot about you if you're a college student and you have this LinkedIn profile, because, you know, 2 or 3 years from now, when you finish your degree and you go into the real world and you're applying to jobs, it's better if you have this built network already than if you go on LinkedIn and you have like, it's not about having friends, but if you have like 0 connections and there's not much information on your profile and it just overall looks not very professional, it's better if you have that already taken care of, and you will feel better and more confident as you're going out and looking for jobs, because trust me, recruiters and interviewers and employers are purposely seeking out your LinkedIn profile. They want to see what kind of online presence you have. So I hope that clarifies some things that you can do and take action in this summer to make your summer worthwhile. I know summer is a time when people tend to kind of lean back, and of course, taking breaks is important. But it's also important as someone who's gearing up for UC or for your university or wherever you plan on going, and someone who's gearing up for applications, to be proactive and to take steps that can make you look like a very appealing candidate and can strengthen you as a person, to be quite honest. So I hope that those tips were useful and worthwhile to you. If you have any questions about anything that I said, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next Saturday at 3 p.m. Bye!